Hello everyone, I'm Ulashpar Karla, second year master's student. My co-author Xie Xiao, first year PhD student, and Dr. Chinmin Huang from Johns Hopkins Intuitive Computing Lab. Today we will be presenting our work on effects of power dynamics and trust-based strategies in HRI. Human-robot collaboration has many forms, from robots working alongside caregivers in hospital settings or on factory floors, to humans working alongside robots in fast food chains. As an example, I want to share this recent news clip of Flippy from US.
How may I help you?
This robot named Flippy runs the fry station at a White Castle outside of Chicago.
Robots like Flippy are gaining momentum. One important thing to consider when we have more robots collaborating with humans is trust. Trust can be gained and lost. Robot errors erode that trust. However, robot errors are unavoidable. Here is one example of a bartender robot. Even though it manages to make drink, it fails on the last step, and this results in distrust towards this robot. Prior work showed that effective trust repair is vital for successful HRI. There has been 4 different trust-based strategies explored in the literature. These are apologies, denials, promises, and explanations. Their findings showed mixed results on the effectiveness of these strategies, but 2 of these strategies have been shown to be more effective than the others. Explanation and promise had more consistent results than the rest, so we chose to focus on promise and explanation. Robots are envisioned to assume supervisor roles like teacher, tutor, or partners in an equal collaboration setting, or subordinates that receive orders from humans and execute on those orders. So another important concept to consider for human-robot collaboration is power dynamics. This led to our question: how may power dynamics affect the effectiveness of trust-based strategies in human-robot collaboration? In order to answer this question, we designed a 2x2 between participant study, with power dynamics and trust-based strategy as our independent variables, each with 2 levels. We had roughly 10 participants per condition, resulting in 39 participants overall. We used the cooking task as cooking robots are gaining interest in domestic and professional kitchen settings. A UR5 robot was in charge of picking and placing ingredients in the cooking area. The recipe was shown on the screen to the left of the participant. For our power dynamics manipulation, in the supervisor condition, robot emphasized that it will be providing you the necessary food items, as well as step-by-step guidance along the way. In the subordinate condition, robot stressed that it is still learning how to guide people, so it will need your supervision. One limitation of our study is our supervisor-subordinate manipulation also contains expert knows paradigm. Future work should also look at separating this. For our trust-based strategy manipulation in both, the robot first acknowledged the error by saying, "Oops, I think I made a mistake." Then, in the promise condition, the robot made a promise to improve the future performance by saying, "I will make sure to do better next time." In the explanation condition, it explained why the error occurred by saying, "My vision system sometimes has problems identifying same color food items." Here's a short example of an interaction from the subordinate condition.
Please give me the pasta.
Full version of the interaction is available in our lab's YouTube channel. We formulated the following hypotheses. Robots that attempt verbal trust repair will be perceived as more trustworthy. Promise will be more effective trust-based strategy than explanation. People will have a higher chance of complying with the supervisor robot than the subordinate one, even when the robot makes a mistake.
Now I will highlight some key findings from our study. To check if our power dynamics manipulation was successful, after each trial, participants rated the robot's perceived authority in that trial on a scale of 1 through 6. Through a Welch t-test, we found that participants in the supervisor condition viewed the robot to have much more authority than participants in the subordinate condition. This shows that modifications of robot speech content are adequate to manipulate people's perceptions of the robot's authority, even when the robot is a non-anthropomorphic manipulator. To quantify user trust in the robot, after each trial, we evaluated participants' trust in the robot using the Trust Perception Scale HRI, which is on a 0 to 100 scale. Results from a 2-way ANOVA test showed that participants trusted supervisor robots with some kind of verbal trust repair more than subordinate robots with verbal trust repair. We used a two-way ANOVA test to examine the effect of trust repair strategy on the change in participants' perceived trust in the robot between the control trial and the experimental trial. Our results showed that both trust repair strategies successfully repaired user trust to some degree. However, Promise is more effective at repairing user trust than explanation. Two coders manually examined whether participants showed approval or affection towards the robot during or right after robot trust repair. No negative reactions to either trust repair strategies were observed. A likelihood ratio test revealed that Promise elicited more positive reaction than explanation. The coders also manually examined whether participants cooked with the incorrect ingredient when provided by the robot. Here we showed an example of such improper compliance. The robot was supposed to provide sausage to the participant, however, the robot passed the mushroom instead. The participant noticed the error and asked herself, what if it is wrong? She double-checked the recipe, but still decided to put the incorrect ingredient into the cooking pot, demonstrating improper compliance to the supervisor robot. No participant in the subordinate condition exhibited improper compliance, but 30% of the participants in the supervisor condition did. So, what do these findings tell us? We showed the benefit of including trust repair mechanisms in the robotic systems. Regardless of the role of the robot, Promise and explanation repaired user trust in non-anthropomorphic robots after 2 robot errors, and only elicited positive and neutral responses in the users. However, results reported in this work are based on a short interaction session. Recent work found that after 3 violations and repairs, trust cannot be fully restored. Future work should investigate how power dynamics shape the effectiveness of trust repair strategies over longer interactions. Our results also showed concerning ethical implications in future use of supervisor robots, particularly those without error awareness. Prior work encouraged the use of more authoritative robots in more serious, urgent, or disagreeable task contexts and to induce more compliance in users. Yet, in this study, users affected by the robot's authority sometimes complied with the robot even though they noticed the robot error. This kind of improper compliance may lead to potentially catastrophic failures in critical applications. So, measures should be taken to prevent improper compliance in HRI, particularly when the robots have a more active and responsible role. Thank you for your time. We're really excited to continue this line of work. Please reach out if you have any questions or want to discuss our work.